Well, hello, welcome again to a reading of Odyssey Book 3, which I'm just reading through and translating, and hopefully assisting those of you who want to read Homer and need a little bit of help getting through some of the forms and things. So I was up to line 313, Kaisu Philos. So this is Nestor still speaking at this stage, and he's just been relating the story of the return of Menelaus and the death of the murderer of Aegisthus, the murderer of Agamemnon, by Agamemnon's son Orestes. And he says, Kaisu Philos, and you, dear boy, me deithodomon apo, notice the accent on apo tele alaleso. So you, dear boy, may goes with the laleso. Now this will be in fact a perfect imperative. You get all these lovely forms in Homer. So it's that same verb we had before, alaamai, meaning to wander. So do not deitha for a long time, wander far, tele, cognate with I mentioned before with our word tele in television and telephone and so on. So do not wander for a long time far from, notice the accent there, that's going with domon, from your house. Prolipone, having left behind, from prolapo, katamata, your possessions, and having left behind men in your houses who are huto hupophilia. This is a common word in the Odyssey, who are so extremely arrogant. Hupophialus. May, lest they eat, now with the katestheo is to devour. It's often used of animals eating things, but here it's just lest they devour all things toy for you, all the then katamata dasamenoi. This is from dateamai is the verb, having divided, so this is an aorist participle from dateamai, having divided up all your possessions, and you have come on a journey, te usian. It's funny, it's an adverb here meaning in vain. It actually is an adjective, so it actually is an adjective here going with hodon, which is feminine. So a fruitless voyage, journey. So, but you, and it's a subjunctive here, you would have gone on then a fruitless voyage. Al es men menela on, but I, kelamai, I bid, and anoga really means much the same thing. Both of these words, kelamai and anoga, I bid you, it's almost I command you, elthane, to go to Menelaus, for ekanos, for that man, eleuthen, this is from Urkamai, it's this eleutha, eleutha is the perfect, and this is the just the verb here with an extra augment here, sort of lengthened I think for the sake of meter. So for that man has come recently alothen from another place, from elsewhere, from the men, from where, from whence he did not expect, in fact in his heart, to return, to come from. This is an infinitive. So he came back from men, from a place where he didn't actually expect he'd ever get back from. Whom, and it could be more vague here, that someone would not expect to come back. I say, yeah, it's the hontina. So from men, from whence he would not expect in his heart to come from, he whomever the at first the blasts of wind, aposphalos This is from Apis Fallow. So it's from whence nobody would somebody would not expect to in their heart to return from, whomever this is the blast of wind, or the storms, actually, the ALI, the storms had first apos, this is from apos fallow, to drive astray, connected with that verb of slipping. And so apos fallow is to drive awry, to drive astray, into so great a sea, into such great a sea, from where indeed not even the birds in the same year, oiknusin, this is from oikio, it's or oiknuo, it's connected with oikomai, to come. So from whence not even the birds come in 1 year, since it is so great and terrible. I'll just do that bit again because it's a complicated little bit there. So he, Menelaus, came recently from elsewhere, from men, from whence it's, you'll take that with the ook, with the utina. No one would expect in their heart, in fact, to return from. No one whom at the beginning the storms had driven awry, or driven astray, into such a great sea. From whence neither would the birds in the same year come. So from whence the very birds in the space of a year, in the period of 1 year, would come, since it is so great and terrible. So difficult little passage, that bit there. But now, ithi, but imperative, from Amy Ibo. But go now with your ship and with your comrades, but if you wish to pesdos, understand to go on foot. Para, notice the accent here, para for parestin, there is present for you. Diphros is literally a seat, but it's a part for whole. It refers to the seat of the chariot, and hence comes to mean chariot. There is present for you a chariot and horses, and para, and there is para, this is also this, and so it's the children for me are beside you, or present for you, could be that para again, present for you, so my sons are here for you, who will be, future from Amy, Pompeius, escorts toy for you into glorious Lacedaemon, that's Sparta, where Menelaus, the golden-haired one, is, where blonde Menelaus is. And you yourself, now we get infinitive for imperative, very common in Homer. You yourself beseech him, in order that, this is from Enepo, he might speak things that are not false, so the truth. And he will not speak, there's a eree, he will not speak spudos, a lie, for he is very pepnumenos, he is very thoughtful. And that's the speech of Nestor. So thus he spoke, and the sun Edu, from duo, or sometimes duno, the sun set, and Canifas, this is a nominative, darkness, came down. The epi goes with the elthe. So thus he spoke, and the sun set, and darkness descended. And the grey-eyed goddess Athena replied to them, or addressed to them, "O Geron, O old sir." So old, perhaps sir here rather than old man, doesn't sound very good. So, "O sir, you have indeed, Atoi, spoken all these things, katamoiran, well, in order." It's a lovely expression. It means in appropriately, put it into English. You have spoken all these things in order, appropriately. But age, come, tamnete, this is an imperative from tamno, cut the tongues. This is the tongues of the sacrificial victims that they're going to put into the fire later. So cut the tongues, or understand, of the sacrificial victims. Kera aste, this is from kerao, another form of keranumi, to mix. So mix the wine, offer, so that having poured, this is from Spendo and Spendamite, having poured a libation to Poseidon, god of the sea, and the other immortals, may Domitha, subjunctive, we might give thought, it takes a genitive, koitoo, to bed. In other words, to going to bed. We might give thought to going to bed. For it is the hour, toya, of such a thing. For it is the hour of such a thing. Eidiga phaos oikest hupatsopon. For already the sun has, the light has gone, hupatsopon, below the gloom, below the darkness. Nor oike is it fitting, datha, for a long time, da'at semen, this is that verb of sitting. You get thoasdo in later Greek, and this must be from thoasdo. So it is not fitting to sit at the feast of the gods, datha, for a long time, but rather neesthai, to depart. And now we get a here. I haven't had one of these for a while. The a here is from an old verb hiemi, which you only get essentially in this form, just the a, and it's in a past tense. So it's the daughter of Zeus accordingly spoke. So a here is from hiemi, I say. It survives into Attic Greek in that expression eidahos, and thus he said, which is very common in Plato. So eidahos is where you'll see this again, but it's very common in Homer, especially in the Iliad. So the daughter of Zeus accordingly said this, and they, ekluon from kluo, they were listening to her as she spoke. It takes a genitive there, and this is referring to Athena, who of course is in the guise of mentor, but the audience knows it's a she, so Homer puts a feminine ending here. But the heralds, now the ekuan from keo, they poured water on their hands for them. So before making a libation to the gods, you have to clean yourself up a bit. You've got to wash your hands at least. So they poured water on their hands, and the kuroi, the young men, this is from epistepho, or in the middle epistephomai, and in another common word, it means to top up. So they topped up the mixing bowls with drink. And we get a genitive from potos here after the epi. So the young men topped up, so filled up or topped up the mixing bowls with drink. This is from nomao, to distribute. and accordingly they distributed. Now this is a funny expression here. The eparxamenoi is, it has to do with, you get in later Greek eparche, the first fruits, and this is a verb here to give out the first fruits. So it's something like pouring the first fruits of the libation into the cups, passing, or into all the cups. So the young men, they topped up the mixing bowls and they distributed them, pouring the first fruits of libation accordingly into all the cups, or it might be into the cups. No, it's got to be with this, into all the cups. So I think it might be for all of them, but I think it goes with the da esin. This is from dipas. It's a third declension noun. It's an important one actually, because depas is one of the words that occurs in linear B, and it's one of the words that was used to help show that linear B was in fact Greek, because they found this word depas amongst others. They managed to decipher that word. So they distributed it, having poured the first fruits of libation in all the cups, or to all the cups. Oh, sorry, into all the cups, I should say. Glosas, and they cast the tongues in puri into the fire, and the balon's imperfect, so they began to cast the tongues into the fire, and hiestamenoi, and all of them standing up. Ep elabon, this is from epi and labo, which is just to pour a libation, so they poured out the libation. But when spesan, another word for pouring libation, when they had poured out libation, and epion, aorist from pino, and they had drunk as much as the heart wished, so as much as they desired really, but as much as their heart desired. At that time then, Athena and godlike Telemachos, both of them, hiesthen, now this is from hiemi, it's from hiemi, to go, so they set off, and this will be a future here, with the intention of going to the hollow ship. But Nestor, moreover, kateruke, began to detain them, kathaptomenos, something like, kathaptomai means to touch, but it can mean sort of to accost them, epesin, with words. So accosting them with words, he began to detain them. He's got more to say. But we'll have to wait till the next recording to hear what he in fact says.